Somebody's here. I won't do that yet.
Click that.
I don't believe that, and the league believes that. It should say that instead of doing the smoke and mirrors thing with the having people doing it. Exactly what happened to Brian Flores, being called into an interview for a job that had already been filled by someone else.
That is Wesley Morris, culture critic of the New York Times, joining us tonight. Wesley, thanks so much. Always good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I'm a pleasure to be here.
Is that on now?
Yeah,
Kayla?
it was.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but as I'm sure.
Yes, it was.
Today is Valentine's Day. And while you're thinking of your Valentine, we want to share something from London National Portrait Gallery. For the first time, it's on international tour. Some of its work depicting love and desire. Special correspondent Jared Bowen of GBH Boston shares these love stories with us for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
At the Worcester Art Museum, love abounds. Romance is romanticized. This is what love looks like, even what it sounds like.
How do I love thee, let me count the ways. I'm not even an English major, I know that one.
The hand of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, who wrote that sonnet, is cast here in bronze, held by that of her husband, fellow poet Robert Browning.
We have not just the clasping hands, with them we have the paired portraits of Robert and Elizabeth, both in their separate spheres, both independent minds, but inclining gently towards each other, reflecting their continuous support.
These galleries could also be described as love on the run. The art here represents centuries of some of the greatest holdings in London's National Portrait Gallery. But with the museum temporarily closed as part of a $47 million renovation, they're out on an international tour. It's launched in Worcester, Massachusetts, under the banner Love Stories. Lucy Peltz is the show's curator, speaking to us from London.
Touring shows of some of our absolute cherished highlights and masterpieces that otherwise would rarely go on loan. And it's also been an intellectual project because it's for the first time the largest and most important collection of portraits in the world, i.e. the National Portrait Gallery, has considered from the point of view of the role of love and desire.
It's love in the time of the Renaissance, love among the ruins, and everlasting love. Perhaps I'm asking you to play psychologist here, but can you tell me why I and so many others are just so mesmerized by a sleeping David Beckham?
I can tell you why I'm mesmerized by it. He's very beautiful. I might imagine myself lying in bed just contemplating him as I might do my own partner. And so the intimacy and just enjoying that sense of his ease.
Love has many facets and it expresses itself in different ways, and the ways in which people form connection are unique.
Claire Whitner is the Worcester Art Museum's European art curator.
We see very intimate moments and our own interest as a pop culture for the love of celebrities and how do we consume the love of others.
She says John Lennon and Yoko Ono cultivated their love for an eager public, while Audrey Hepburn positioned herself as a muse.
You see this kind of multiplication of her public image in one particular photograph, getting at that point of becoming a public muse, someone that is the projection of mass desire.
Here, love is manufactured and it's messy. Mary Wollstonecraft ran away with the married poet Percy Shelley, finding both love and the inspiration for Frankenstein. Then there's Wallace Simpson and Edward, Duke of Windsor, who renounced the British throne. This is Cecil Beaton's wedding day photograph.
That was love.
So why the long faces?
Wasn't that
Taken
love?
just as he likely learned she wouldn't receive a royal title. And then there's the love saga of Lady Emma Hamilton, known for dancing nude at private house parties. She was the muse of 18th century portrait painter George Romney. She had numerous affairs with aristocracy, including Charles Greville.
But ultimately, Greville becomes tired of Emma and he sends her to live with Lord Hamilton, his uncle. He falls in love with her and they get married. And all is going well until Horatio Nelson shows up and begins this torrid love affair. She bears his child. And Lord Hamilton, rather than separating with Emma, decides that they're just gonna all three of them live together in this sort of menage a trois.
And that's not even the law that dare not speak its name. That was Lord Alfred Douglas writing about his affection for Oscar Wilde. A love that landed Wilde in prison recalls Lucy Peltz.
There's a lovely quotation by Wilde from a letter to a friend after he comes out of prison saying, "The very fact that he's ruined my life makes me love him more."
This being a British show, the fitting finale is the facade of the fairy tale, the ongoing one that has played out within the royal family. But, says Peltz, it's one.
Mr. Selby,
that-
would you like to mute your
The final
microphone?
section, Love and the Lens, which ends with Harry and Meghan looking absolutely
Selby?
exotic with each other. And what we know evolved. And whatever we may think of their decision, we think back to
You should-
Diana and the terrible
you should get rid
events
of
that
that.
befell her as a
Are we
result
ready?
of
It's up.
our desire as
Okay, and what are we doing? You have people talking, do you have the volume turned up?
Well, I just heard him, but then now he's mute. He was just talking, but now he's,
You want to turn on our video?
I don't know.
Probably should have asked Al to stay on.
What was that, Carl? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm just talking to myself while I try to find some things.
Oh, no worries.
Hmm. Huh.
Good evening.
Hi,
The meeting. The moment we do not have a quorum. see.
Was Al.
All right, we got Big Al, we got you, me. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. Am I correct?
Yeah, Peter's on.
Peter's on, so there's 4 of us.
Peter Jack.
Need a 5th.
Stuck.
Emily's here. We still short one? 1, 2, 3,
Or,
4. Still short a body.
do you want me to call anybody?
Yeah, try Jackie, Jackie, please try Debbie.
Okay.
School's in session, so she shouldn't be traveling. Tony and Lester don't. Who's that leave?
Tony Gaddy doesn't have a computer, so that leaves him out.
Yeah, they can be on their phones. They just don't want it. Same with Lester. Ah, Debbie's on. We have a quorum.
Where do you see Debbie?
She's signing in now. She's not fully on. Oh. Anybody want to talk marijuana? And 7:01. All right. Hi, Debbie. A quorum being present, I'm calling the January 14th meeting of the Wiscasset Planning Board meeting to order. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of December 13th, 2021. If anybody can remember that far back, the minutes were part of your package. I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion, we approve the minutes of December 13th,
Thank you.
2021.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? Errors, omissions? All right, planning board has to be by roll call vote. So I vote yes, Jackie.
Yes.
It's not Monique, but that's what it says on my screen.
Sorry. Okay, yes.
Big Al. Yeah,
Abstain, I wasn't there.
that's right, and Deb, you're voting yes. She's waving yes.
Yes.
All right. First order of business is Twin City Construction subdivision pre-application Young's Point map, tax map R9 lot 7. Representing the client is Jay Rate. And if I share my screen, I'm supposed to be able to do that. Share screen, but I want to share screen too. Oops. So you should see part of a plan in his application. This is only this part of a 27 or plus acre lot on Young's Point. goes. Hemlock Road kind of is on the other side of it for most of the distance, but we are only talking about this part. This was a lot, most of it was a lot in a subdivision back in time. I hope you've all read the draft review letter from the planner, Emily. Basically, it finds that we have no jurisdiction as this is a single lot out of a larger lot.
So does this become a new subdivision?
Not as it stands now. It would be one lot out of a piece of land, has no jurisdiction, no subdivision is occurring as far as the planning boards are concerned. And this lot apparently looks like it conforms with our minimum lot requirement and road frontage, water frontage requirements from the shoreline zone. Jay, would you like to say anything?
So just for the record, there has been a preliminary plan for a more substantial subdivision in this area down the road. But because of the non-conforming lot of what had previously approved Lot 9, and because your ordinance has a stipulation for an approval of amended subdivision plans, we were not sure if we had to go through another approval process, or if it would be, as you said, and as the planning memo brought out, not necessarily in the board's jurisdiction. But the purpose of this is to take a lot that could have been conveyed potentially on its own and to bring it into conformity with the current shoreline frontage requirements. Because if you see what used to be Lot 9 did not have sufficient shore frontage to be conveyed as a lot. That's really all I have, because I'm of the same opinion as the board's letter. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't missing something. Some municipalities choose to review amendments to plans, and I wasn't sure if Wiscasset would do the same thing.
Thank you, Ray. As Emily's letter points out, this lot, or part of this lot, you can see where the line was in a subdivision, but because the law changed, increasing the shore frontage requirement, this lot did not meet that. And because at the time that the law changed, it was in the same ownership as the larger parcel adjacent to it, it was automatically absorbed into the larger parcel. So
Now you're looking to split it out of the larger parcel?
now he's going to cut out one lot. I think what we're looking at here is a motion that this does not require subdivision review, that this creation of this one lot as shown on this plan does not require planning board approval.
I make the motion if the plan has said we don't have to do, and I make the motion that we not approve it, not get involved in it.
I'll second Al's motion.
Is there any further comment from the board? Any comment from the general public?
I have a question.
Okay,
I was just wondering if the board does the board in this situation render like findings of fact or something like that?
Not if we
Emily?
don't have to be involved.
Emily, could you do that? Just a quick one.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't know how you would put together a finding of fact if we don't have jurisdiction on something.
The reason that I asked.
Better that I wrote somewhat apply.
Yeah,
The reason that I
Basically-
ask is that in the past, in certain municipalities which lean the same way, I have then had title attorneys come back and say that it constitutes some clout on the title
Hmm.
because it did not get reviewed as an amended subdivision. So
You know,
where
Jay,
this is,
Go
So
ahead.
that's why I was asking about that, something that we could have. I have your letter, your memo. I was just wondering if there was something.
I think that and the minutes where we're voting on a motion to accept the report
Probably adequate.
is
Yep.
adequate. You'll have two documents, but
Sounds good. I just wanted to
Alright.
make sure that would be in the minutes.
anybody else? All those in favor? This time I can see if I can stop sharing, if that helps me with my. There we go. Oh, look at that. I vote yes. Jackie,
Yes,
Peter,
Yes.
Al,
Yes,
Deb, Rob.
Yes,
Am I missing anybody? There's a lot of names up here. All right, the motion is unanimous and carries. We expect we'll see you at some point, Jay.
You most likely will, but I do appreciate that. And again, once people have more questions down the road, I'll be back. Thank you.
All right, take care. Next order of business is actually just covering Heather Pitcher, building permit for 262 Bath Road, tax map U10 lot 23. I believe that was sent out to all members before that Emily handled this as a de minimis change. Somebody can nod their head, they actually saw it, so.
Yes.
yes,
I did.
I saw it.
All right, then. So this is more of just putting on record that we were accepting her actions.
I make a motion that we accept Heather Pitcher's application for the Connex box and the 2 storage trailers as recommended by Emily Robb, our fearless leader.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? The order's changed. Jackie,
yes,
I vote yes. Peter,
Yes.
Al,
Yes,
and Deb. Brooke.
Yes,
The motion is unanimous, the vote was unanimous, the motion carries. The only other business I have is, half of you have heard this before. Some of us have, our terms on the planning board have expired. I left that piece of paper down in the town office. I will try to retrieve it maybe tomorrow and send it out I'll send it out to everybody and find out whether you're on it. I'm pretty sure, Deborah, you're the only one that's totally current.
yeah, I just went through it. I just did it.
Technically, we just carried out some voting that maybe we didn't have the authority to do. I believe mine reappointment's up on the agenda for tomorrow. Is that right, Jackie?
that's right.
Yeah, okay. All right. Does
As the
anybody?
lone member of the planning board, I'd like to approve what we just did tonight.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We'll get Emily appointed to the board and that way, all right. Wiscasset can have a non-resident. All right. All right, then. Any other business? Thank you for coming.
at 7:12 PM, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Long time was we heard that.
Second,
All right. All those in favor? Yes.
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 Yes. Very good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Be safe.
Yeah. Nobody's asking any questions. I'm signing out. Apparently, I'm not signing out.
I'm trying.